Welcome back. Today I'll be playing DC Universe Online again. Playing with Mach Galilei. As you may have guessed, her name is influenced by Mach speed, which I believe is the speed beyond the speed of sound, or something like that. And Galilei, named after Galileo Galilei, because he studied speed measurements and was a student of physics. So yeah, that's where her name comes from. I believe I mentioned it already, but I'll just mention it again here. Her power set is going to be mostly based off the speed movements, the speed movement abilities. So you'll see her using a lot of Speedster based attacks, except for the supercharge generator, which of course we need for supercharge abilities.
Hey, so Batman sent you in. Good times. Let's show these guys we don't need their stinking venom to beat them down.
The downside to using movement powers is that you have to spend points to use them, unlike normal powers.
Vicky Vale reporting. Xochipilli is frequently depicted by street artists.
This is not over.
Good job,
Not
hero.
yet.
I'll take care of Bane. Thanks for the assist.
Bane's addiction is his weakness. I'll speak to Dr. Tompkins about rehab possibilities. In the meantime, he'll stay in custody. Meet Batwoman at the safe house. I'll have further missions for you soon. Batman out.
This is how you reset your powers. You can do this at the Hall of Legends or Watchtower or Hall of Doom. But I have a reset system in my base, so I did it there. I decided that the shield style was not really working out for me, so I ended up trying the dual wield. But eventually I decided that was also wrong, so for a while I'll be using dual wield, and then I'll switch over to the staff, I think. Since I'm going mostly power-based, it's not really necessary to do weapon combos, but weapon combos are pretty useful if you're...
LexCorp is jamming me out and hacking the turret control consoles inside Star Labs. Use the consoles to revert them back. You definitely want those on your side.
If you're precision-based, then you definitely want weapon combos. And if you... I don't know, most other roles use them, but I would say if you're damage and you focus on might, then you probably don't really need weapon combos. But it's really a matter of preference. If you like using them, use them. If you don't like using them, don't use them. Biggest thing to keep in mind is some weapons have a ridiculous number of combos that you have to do, so it can get a little expensive doing the cross weapon combos. And sometimes they just take so long that you just won't be able to get off the best you won't be able to do the most damage that you can because you keep getting knocked down by the boss or whatever.
There are 3 EMP pulsars around the lab. I'll distract Luther. You set one off. That'll temporarily short out his armor. Then we both attack. I'm counting on you to have my back. You know I'll have yours. Ready?
Maybe this will teach you to stay out of my business, you self-righteous alien.
Your attack on Starlabs ends now, Lex. You don't own these exabytes or Starlabs research. We need those to defeat Brainiac.
This fight against Lex would go a lot quicker if I used the pulsar things, but I just decided not to do it that way. Instead, I'm just taking him out the old-fashioned way. It's basically the same fight if you're a villain or a hero. I mean, obviously if you're a villain, you're fighting Superman, but instead of it being the pulsars to like cause electromagnetic damage, instead you're using like kryptonite things to make him weak.
I have better things to do than trade punches with you and your flunky, Superman.
You did it. Lex doesn't like to take no for an answer. But so long as you and I are here, he has no choice. Great work. And thanks. Hurry! Lex's armor is shorted out. Attack him now!
Superman? He's not even human. An alien like Brainiac. Call him our planet's champion? Ha! It wasn't Superman who brought the exobites back through time and created a new army. It was me, my future self. Let Superman pretend he knows what's best for humanity. I will prove, now and forever, he's not our planet's savior. I am. The future belongs to Lex Luthor.
Lex is such an arrogant xenophobe.
How have you been? All right, I'll cut the chumminess. I know we don't have much history together, but together we could make history. And speaking of history, I'm in the business of collecting things. Old things, new things, sometimes blue things, but most importantly, things with power. Ah, I got your attention. Good. Meet me at this secret location and I'll give you the details of this little arrangement.
This is the next big thing you need to do before you reach level 30, is getting your artifacts.
There you are. I was starting to think you weren't interested in power beyond your wildest dreams. At the very least, we need to get these artifacts out of the hands of the monsters that carry them. You in or you out, mate? There you go. Now, let me check my shopping list. So, I've got a lead on a few artifacts. First stop, we're going to hell. I mean, why save it for last? Let's just jump right in, eh, mate? I'm pretty sure they're keeping my seat warm. Let's go.
Between all the different ways you can spend your powers and skills,
We're after the rings of Azar. Pretty little things, imbued with the souls of long-past Azarathians. The hippie folks that call You may have seen these articles before. The Raven is set to keep the demons at bay. The demons inside.
so yeah, between all the different ways you can spend your powers and skills and the large number of artifacts that there are to choose from, there's a lot of like customization you can do with your character. You can really play how you want to in this game.
So much power. I will finish you off myself. Magical energy will be lost.
Our next stop is the lovely suburb of Oa. In the old days, it would have been a real trick getting across the galaxy, but now old Johnny Boy's got Sector O on speed dial. Last one there's a duffer. Are usually more the recycling type. They're not keen on outsiders digging through their garbage, but they won't miss what they don't know is missing.
Definitely spend some time playing around with the different artifacts. And remember, a lot of the artifacts can be found in individual areas in the different worlds that you can go to. So you don't have to buy them from John. I like that spin attack, but that takes a lot of things going right to actually get it to work. The dual wield spin attack, not the Speedster.
Since you're such a fan of gallivanting across the universe, I picked a very special location for our next expedition. I don't want to spoil the surprise. That probably spoiled the surprise. Got it? Good. That's a thing of beauty.
I will knock that smirk right off your face and into the source wall.
You want to take me on? Fine.
Tactics are flawed. Of apocalypse will find you.
Don't wait for me. Grab it now. Nice job. Thought things were going pear-shaped. It's depleted. At best, it may have some residual energy. Well, I'm not leaving empty-handed, so let's grab it and get out of here before we draw the eye of Darkseid. This
first set of artifacts aren't particularly interesting. They're they're okay. They're good starter ones, but that's kind of the idea.
If you're ever looking for something powerful that no one person should ever have, look no further than the United States government. They've got all sorts of dangerous things that could blow off your damn hand. Let's go get some, what do you say?
The ones that you can buy from Constantine and or find in the various tiers of content are significantly better. Oh, and there's a couple that you can only get from the Quark vending machines.
Well, look what we have here. What you've got there is Dillasteel. The same silvery stuff that'll break your hand if you try to punch old Captain Atom on Major Force in the nose. If you get boxed a lot, this might be the one for you.
I don't know who you punks are, and I don't care. You mess with the Major, you get the Force! Ah! I kill people for less than this.
When did he become Pink Lemonade Man? I thought he used to have different colors.
Well, mate, you collected every last artifact on my list. I'll just take these and go. What? I'm a right bastard, everyone knows that. Fine. Since you did so well, pick one.
Like I said, this is a good starter artifact. You may keep it, you may end up replacing it. All depends on what kind of stats you want to deal with. Getting 10 source marks doesn't take that long, so I highly recommend.
It needs the proper motivation to go on. What you need is a very special sort of item to help it break on through to the other side. Now that you've got the items you need, you can really give your artifact a boost.
Yeah, I highly recommend, you know, buying different ones and trying them out. Or, you know, finding them and trying them out. If you don't like one, you can feed it to another one, so yeah. Don't feel like you've completely wasted your nth metal on one artifact when you decide to replace it with a different one.
They want to grow in power. They yearn for it. And they're always hungry. If you feed them the right things, it will make them stronger. The best fuel for these little beasties are things like sunstones from Krypton and ingots of nth metal from Thanagar. Keep these relics happy, and they'll keep you happy.
These seals of preservation you can get from Dr. Fate here in the Hall of Doom. You'll have to, I think you get, depending on if you're playing free or you're paying a subscription, you'll get like one of this currency that you can use to buy something like that each month. So it'll take a while to build up your artifacts unless you're willing to throw money at it, of course. But it's worth the wait. I feel like the progress is much better just building it up over time instead of paying to have it done. But to each their own. Some people like doing that. Otherwise, Diablo Immortal wouldn't have done so well. That is a game I will never play, though. I like the old games where grinding actually matters. So this generator, you'll get mods for it that you can add in that'll give you different extra stats. And this thing, the base mainframe, always put your points into tactical mods. You will be glad you had those, especially once you're level 30 and up. These are just additional things that you can add to each piece of gear. Before level 30, not everything you have is going to have a slot for these little mods. But once you do have access to all of them, I highly recommend always having that at the 3rd level, so you can have all the mods. And there are some really good ones. The only disappointing thing is there's a couple really good ones for speedsters and flight, but the acrobatics doesn't have a really good mod for the movement-based attacks. I think one mod that almost never ends up being useful is the legs mod, unless you have one of the 4 powers that it has in there. It'll have like 4 different options, and personally they're almost never moves, or they're never powers that I would use on the legs mod. I think like 1 or 2 of my characters actually use the legs mod. Yeah, it's only 3 options, and none of them were something that I use. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This, the dashing combos. There's dashing combos, and then there's also flight combos. But the acrobatics kind of got the short end of the stick. They don't have combos like this for some reason. At least not that I've seen. I don't know if they just forgot to add it or if they're working on it right now, but it doesn't seem to be an option. But if you like using your movement powers, I highly recommend getting this specific mod, the feat mod, either dashing combos or flying combos or whatever it's called. You will be glad you did, because it adds like a lot of extra movements, a lot of extra damage to your attacks. Not a lot, but you know, it's more, and that's good. More variety, always better. Yeah, as you can see, I can't use most of them right now because I'm not level 30 yet. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Bye-bye.